Good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome. My name is Cheryl Watson Harris, and I am the proud new president and executive director of Achieve Atlanta. Thank you. And I have the honor and privilege of working with this amazing team that put together this very, very special event. This very, very special scholar night for our parents and our families, all of our special guests. Thank you to our funders that are here and all of our partners. But everyone is here this evening because we are here to celebrate our incredible, amazing, brilliant, and beautiful Achieve Atlanta scholars. So let's just give them a huge round of applause. Thank you to our special guests that have joined us. And this is my third day on the job, and I can't think of a better way to spend it getting to know all of you. So thank you so much. I look forward to the evening. I look forward to working with all of you and celebrating all of your amazing accomplishments, and enjoy the rest of the evening. So with that, I'm going to now welcome our Vice President of College Success, and I know that many of you know her and love her and adore her, Dr. Suzanne Diggs Wilborn, if she can come to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Good evening, parents and families and special guests, and most importantly, the 2023 graduates of Atlanta Public Schools. Welcome. I'm Suzanne Diggs Wilborn. I am the Vice President for College Success at Achieve Atlanta. And on behalf of our partners and APS and Achieve Atlanta, we want to welcome you to Scholar Night. So during this presentation, we'll be asking you to use your phones for a couple of different things. And so to make sure that you get the best reception possible, if you could take a moment and connect to the APS Wi-Fi so you could have better reception and be able to participate fully. So at Achieve Atlanta, our mission is to help Atlanta Public Schools students to access, afford, and earn a post-secondary credential. And our student support does not stop with just the scholarship or after our students graduate. So just like these students from Kennesaw State University, they are on an education abroad trip to Ghana. You have to trust that you will get there. And this school year, you have really persevered to make sure that you do get there. All those challenges, everything that you faced, yet here you are tonight. So that high school finish line is in sight. I know you see it. And in a few weeks, you're going to cross the stage and graduate. So tonight, we are here to celebrate. We're going to celebrate you, your accomplishments, and also your dreams for the future. And we know you have those dreams. So a few of the students, when you were at the Wall of Dreams, you were asked to come up to the stage and share that. So those students who were identified, can you come to the stage? Quentin Taylor, Ayana Gillum, and Jada Patrick. Let's give them a round of applause. Ayana? And Jada. So if you could step up to the mic and introduce yourself and say your dream.
How y'all doing? Oh, no, that's dead. How y'all doing? My name is Quentin Taylor. I plan to take my talents to Georgia State University. I will be a part of the music theater program. And what I wrote on my note was, my biggest dream is to be on stage and put smiles on people's faces and motivate people to be their best selves.
Hi, my name is Ayana Gillum, and I'm going to LSU. And what I wrote on my sticky note is, I dream to become wealthy enough to support my family.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jada Patrick, and my dream is to major in international relations and become an interpreter. Thank you.
Thank you, students. Let's give them another round of applause. Those are amazing dreams, and we know that you will get there, so thank you for sharing that. So at Achieve Atlanta, we have bold expectations for each and every one of you. And you've already demonstrated that boldness by having the courage to dream, like you put on the Wall of Dreams, but also the commitment to do the work. And so completing your college degree will require that you not only take the risks for today, but also that you can get that reward tomorrow. And so we're excited to see all that you're going to do. And tonight we want to do three things. The first is to tell you what it means to be an Achieve Atlanta Scholar. The second is to give you information on what you need to do to not just accept, but to maintain the Achieve Atlanta Scholarship. And then lastly, we want to provide some advice to you to help you transition from high school to that first semester of college successfully. The students pictured behind me are students who were students just like you, who were attending a summer transition event with us. And this year, more than 5,000 Achieve Atlanta scholars from 18 Atlanta public school high schools are studying at over 350 colleges and universities inside of Georgia and around the country. Today, you're going to be taking that first step to become just like them and become an Achieve Atlanta Scholar and make that bold reality, a vision for you, a reality. So being an Achieve Atlanta Scholar can be summed up in 3 words: believe, expect, and achieve. Now we will hear from one of our Achieve Atlanta Scholars, Abubakar Berry, who is a student at Georgia Tech, about his journey through college and how Achieve Atlanta has supported him.
Achieve Atlanta has supported me in several ways after graduating from high school. The most important way, of course, is giving me an annual scholarship of $5,000 every year, accumulating to $20,000 after 4 years. Another way they have supported me is doing like monthly check-ins, right, to see how I'm doing with school, checking in with grades, checking in on my mental health, and all of that. And last but not least, I'm actually an Achieve Atlanta ambassador at campus at Georgia Tech. So they're actually supporting me in another way by giving me an on-campus job. So I really appreciate all the things that Achieve Atlanta does for me.
So the first step in becoming an Achieve Atlanta Scholar is to make a commitment. So students, please look in your folders that you were given when you registered and pull out the Achieve Atlanta commitment. Parents, you can follow along on the commitment behind me that will be displayed on the screen. Students, please stand and repeat after me to commit to the following should you accept our scholarship. So students, I will maintain full-time enrollment at an Achieve Atlanta post-secondary institution. Awesome. I will complete all Achieve Atlanta scholarship update and renewal applications, including submitting required documents. I will meet the Satisfactory Academic Progress, or SAP, requirement at my institution. I will complete my FAFSA every year. I will meet regularly with my designated college advisors, which includes those assigned by my college and/or Achieve Atlanta. I will meet any additional requirements established by my post-secondary institution. I will complete college persistence surveys and information requests from Achieve Atlanta on time. I will update student contact information with Achieve Atlanta as necessary and/or requested. And I will complete a post-secondary degree or credential. Students, please sign those commitments and let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations and welcome to the 2023 cohort of Achieve Atlanta Scholars. So as a scholar, we know that you will achieve. Achievement starts with setting goals and focusing on them every single day. Inevitably, you're going to encounter barriers, you're going to encounter obstacles, and when you do, you must be willing to ask for help when you need it. Like the graduate pictured here, your high school graduation will be the first of many achievements in your life. We're very proud of you. So next, we'll be covering a little bit more about what you came here tonight to learn about, and that's information about the Achieve Atlanta Scholarship. Please welcome Nympha Murillo, who is Achieve Atlanta's Senior Director of Scholarship and Affordability.
Hello, scholars. So nice to see you all. As Suzanne mentioned, my name is Nympha Murillo, and I'm the Senior Director of Scholarship and Affordability. And I wanted to take the time to make sure to cover some important scholarship information that's good for you to know. So we're going to start by recapping your scholarship amounts. So how much will you get as an Achieve Atlanta Scholar? So that is going to depend on where you enroll, the type of college and program where you enroll. Our four-year students, so if you enroll in a four-year school or program, you receive a maximum of $20,000, and that's split up over 4 years, so it's $5,000 per year or $2,500 per term. Our two-year students, because costs are lower, you're going to be receiving a total max of $3,000, and that's $1,500 per year or $750 per semester. Students who are able to secure a full ride scholarship, that is great. And since you won't need our funds, but we still want to support you because you're an Achieve Atlanta Scholar, we will provide a one-time $1,000 grant sent to you directly your freshman year, and that's $500 per term to help you get set up for college and your expenses, whether it be your dorm or your books or anything that you may need. One thing to remember, scholars, is this is the amounts that you will receive, but please remember that you are required to renew your scholarship every semester. So every semester you will receive an email with instructions on how to renew, so make sure that you follow through with that. So what do you need to do to remain eligible to receive your first payment this fall? So this is very important. So these are a few things that you need to do. One is you need to select to attend an Achieve Atlanta eligible institution, and I'll cover that in just a bit to see what that means. You'll need to complete the fall update application on June 15th. So we're opening that up on June 15th. It takes 5 minutes to complete. You just let us know the final school you're going to and your student ID so we can get the funds over to you. Very important that you complete that promptly. And you need to enroll this fall and be a full-time student. So you need to meet all of these eligibility requirements to essentially activate and have your first payment sent to you. If you are unable to meet these requirements, you would be forfeiting the scholarship. So let's review what is an eligible institution for Achieve Atlanta. So this is where you can use your Achieve Atlanta scholarship funds. So we look at both in-state colleges and out-of-state colleges. For all colleges, regardless of where you go, they have to be nonprofit and they have to be accredited. So that's regardless of whether it's in-state or out-of-state. If you are traveling out-of-state, there is one thing that's different, and that is that we do require that you have a minimum 44% graduation, that the school has a minimum 44% graduation rate according to the college scorecard. So let's talk a little bit about the college scorecard. So this is the tool that we use on where you would search for that graduation requirement if you are attending out of state. Again, in-state, no minimum graduation requirement. Out of state, at least a 44%. So as you can see, we've highlighted where you would look. So you would enter your school, and you would look to see if it's private, nonprofit. So remember, it has to be nonprofit. So it can be private nonprofit, public nonprofit, just not for-profit. And then here you'll also see the graduation rate. So that's the graduation rate that we would be using to look at out-of-state colleges. The other thing is that it has a really important or really key information about every college. So you can also go here and search colleges to look at annual costs. We talked about annual graduation rates. It could also do median earnings after you graduate. So it's a really, really great resource for all students. Thank you so much for your attention on these key scholarship points. I do want to point out that if you get stuck, if you have a question, you're not alone. We have an abundance of resources on the website, including an FAQ section. I would really encourage you to go through that FAQ section, and if you do not find your answer there, then go ahead and email us at scholarship@achieveatlanta.org. We have talked to many of you, and we've enjoyed doing that, and we love that, so we're always available to help. I'm trying to see if my scholarship team is here. Can you raise your hand if you are? I can't see with the light. Okay, they're not. But in the scholarship table that you have there, we have a few of our team members there. If you have any lingering scholarship question, they'll be available to help. And remember, the next important step for you to activate your scholarship is June 15th. We will open that fall update application, and you'll need to complete that promptly. So now we're going to move to a question and answer portion where we're able to get a chance to answer some of the questions that we have received from some of you all.
Thank you, Ninfa, for that wonderful scholarship overview. And as you checked in, you had a chance to ask several questions or pose several questions that Ninfa can answer now. And so we'll take this opportunity right now so that she can answer a couple of them. So Ninfa, what happens with my scholarship if I transfer?
So once a scholar, always a scholar. So that scholarship will follow you. And just remember, the amount depends on where you're enrolling. So if you're enrolling in a four-year program, that amount changes to be the four-year amounts and time limits. If you're transferring to a two-year, that amount would also change to the new updated time limits and amounts as well.
What if I don't know which college I'm going to by June 15th?
We definitely encourage you to complete the fall update application with your final school, because if you submit and it's not your final school, it's messy. We need to get funds back and resend them and so forth. So definitely work with us, but we would encourage you to wait until June 15th. We'll actually keep the application open through the end of July. Do not wait until the end of July, because it takes us about 6 weeks to process the payment and get it out. So that's why we encourage you to complete it as soon as possible. But if you're still making that selection and it's not final, you do have some runway to be able to decide and make an informed choice, because we want you to pick a good, the best fit for you. If you feel like you will not meet the deadline, let us know, and we can get you some assistance to help you select a college, but also just give you some more guidance on the specific guideline. So again, we're here to help you. Just keep us informed.
How do I get the scholarship money?
The scholarship funds, once you complete the fall update application, we'll process it, and we'll start processing that and send that directly to your school. So it's going to get to your financial aid office. They will process it, put it in your student account for you to receive and pay for your educational expenses from your student account.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for questions, and thank you, Ninfa. Visit our FAQ on our website. We've gotten lots of questions from scholars over the years, and so we've refined that FAQ, and it has a lot of answers, so you could visit that. Thank you, Ninfa. So next up, we're going to hear from an Achieve Atlanta parent, an Achieve Atlanta alum, and an Achieve Atlanta scholar about their post-secondary journey and what that's been like. Please welcome our panelists, Alexandria, Augustine, and Dana, to the stage. So please give our panelists another round of applause for joining us. Thank you. So tell us your name, your school, the major, and your high school, and your favorite part about being in college. For Dana, introduce yourself, and then tell us about your Achieve Atlanta alum.
Okay, my name is Alexandria Geralt, high school. I went to Drew Charter School. I graduated. I graduated last year, and I'm a freshman at Georgia Tech. My favorite part about being in college, the freedom. I like not having, it has its cons and its pros, but I like being able to regulate myself and do what I have to do without kind of having to answer to people.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Augustine Jimenez. I graduated from North Atlanta High School back in 2016. I'm an Achieve Atlanta alum. I went to Boston University, graduated in 2020, year of COVID-19. So that was fun. And then I would say my favorite part of college was definitely just finding my people, like just meeting the people that I became super close with. I even considered leaving BU for a time just because that part was a little tough at first. But then once I found my people, got a lot better, and I stuck around.
My name is Dana Bradley Fleming. My son actually graduated from Drew in 2018. He went on to Fisk University. He graduated in 2022 and will be headed to med school this summer.
Thank you. So, what was the most challenging part of the transition from high school to college for you? And we'll start with you, Alexandria.
The most challenging part was the difference in workload. Georgia Tech is a challenging school, and you're not going to be used to it from the high school that you go to. The work it's just completely different, and it's also hard finding the balance within the difference of work. So like the freedom is good, but it's hard to find a balance between the freedom and being able to see your friends whenever and being able to do whatever you want and having to get your work done and study and get those grades.
I would definitely echo your points. The academics was not always the most challenging thing for me, but I think maybe making that jump from like the expectations in high school, maybe you were used to having such a close relationship with your teachers that like you could just kind of finagle here and there and like they would let you not turn something in or make something up. But with professors, that's just not the case. They don't really know you. You may sometimes be in a class that's like this size, like 300 people in that class. So they're not gonna like really take pity on you if you don't turn something in on time. They just won't. So that'll be kind of tough. And then I would say just like the diversity of choice that you have with like how many social scenes you'll encounter can be a little overwhelming at first. I'm sure most colleges will have like some sort of event where they'll basically lay out all the clubs that are available to you, and you'll be like, there's just like dozens and dozens of tables. Which one should I sign up for? But don't be overwhelmed. Just pick one or two. Think of it almost like you're dating the clubs. You're not totally sure if you're like gonna stick with this one or that one, but then you'll find the one that really clicks with you. You'll find your people, and I think that'll make everything a lot better.
And then, thank you both. And for Dana, as a parent, what are the 1 to 2 pieces of advice you would provide to parents of incoming scholars that you wish you had known and found the most valuable?
Okay, first and foremost, you don't have to send a care package every week. You can do it maybe once a month. What else did I need to know? If you've empowered your children as elementary and high school students, once they get to college, if they have that foundation that you've built for them, they will be empowered themselves. They will be able to talk to their professors. They'll be able to speak with financial aid. They'll be able to talk to cafeteria workers, et cetera. You know, all of their professors, everybody on campus, and they can advocate for themselves. So that being said, basically our job is done. Their job then is to pick up the pieces and put them together for the next 4 years. And a lot of our students can do that. A lot of our children can do that. Our job basically is just to pay for college. So with Achieve Atlanta, and that's what I did, I would log in and look at the financial portion to see what I needed to write a check for. But once we met the bursar, and that's something that Achieve Atlanta encouraged us to do, we met the bursar when we first went on campus. We explained to them, you know, what scholarships would be coming in. We said, okay, this is who our child is, and they knew to look out for him. So when it came to me logging in and paying my portion, everything was always accounted for. One thing that you children will be able to do is count on the Achieve Atlanta check, because they will do their work as long as you've done your work. So I think that's most important.
Thank you. So, Alexandria, in high school, you had adults making sure you got things done. We know that in college, you have to advocate for yourself and do more things on your own. And you talked a little bit about that freedom, right? So, can you give an example of how you've advocated for yourself and found that balance?
Okay, well, I think another issue that I had coming on campus was coming to a PWI from a predominantly black school. So one way that I began to advocate for myself was to get involved in the small black community that we do have. So we have the Office of Minority Educational Development, and I'm very close with Ms. Alvarez right there. And one way that I advocated for myself was I came to her with a proposal for a high school outreach initiative for minorities so that we can up the percentage of minorities at Georgia Tech, because at Georgia Tech, black people are 7%. So that's one way that I would like to advocate for myself.
That's awesome. And was there anything that you did for yourself individually? You did something for the community and looked out for everyone? Is there anything you did for yourself?
Individually, I had to go out of my way to actually make a relationship with my professor. He said that you are in a classroom of like 200, 300 people. You're not used to it at all. You're used to being in like maybe 20 people to a class. So I had to just get to know my professor individually. Last semester, it was a little harder to get to know them, but this semester I got with my biology professor, and we built a very nice rapport with one another. She helps me with like any assignments I may have issues with. Like even after the test, like I had my last 2 finals today, and after my final today, she came up to me, she was like, how did it go? You know, we talked about it. And like anytime that I have like, she's like asked us about tests before, and I would say, oh, well, I think there was a lot of trick questions on the test, and she actually changed the test. Like it was like more, she just changed the structure a little bit to be a little bit more accommodating for us. So that was one way that I advocated for myself.
Thank you. Augustine?
So I would say just don't be shy to explore something that may be new to you in your experience, and just kind of like step back. And when you're in college, you're so in it, and like you're so inundated with tasks and homework and essays and social life eventually that you forget sometimes kind of why you're there, and it becomes kind of like your whole kind of bubble, I guess. But I guess the point is to kind of prepare yourself for a career or for the next step, or if you want to go on to grad school. So I would say definitely try to strike up relationships with professors, because they can connect you to like internships. Those professors are usually chosen to be professors because they're very well connected within their field. So if you can build that relationship with them, they could potentially connect you to like a previous employer. They could recommend you. So I guess it's kind of like networking essentially. If your school sets up professional events, like sometimes we'll do panels just like this, but people will be talking about their careers. Connect with those people, be that person who, like, no one wants to be that person who walks up to a panelist after the panel, but be that person, because that person gets connected to internships, to career opportunities. And then most colleges will have some sort of office of like fellowships or scholarships for grad school. And those people are super passionate about putting you on to those opportunities. Like they'll walk you through the process of applying for like a Truman Scholarship, or eventually like to a Rhodes Scholarship or something like that. And if you're interested in things like that after undergrad, then you'll want to be connected to those people. So sometimes when you see people like in their offices typing away, or like it may be a little intimidating to kind of walk in there as a student, but know that like pretty much everyone at the college is there to enhance your experience, and also you're paying for that experience, or someone is. So really make it worth your while, get as much mileage out of it as you possibly can.
So I'm going to ask you this, and you can pass it back the other way. That's great advice. Thank you both. How do you make sure that you are as healthy as possible? Augustine, how did you make sure you were as healthy as possible, physically, psychologically, while you were in school? And then Alexandria, currently.
That's a very good question. I would say in terms of mental health, just acknowledge that there are so many expectations put on you probably from your family, but from your professors for sure, from just society. Like, society has pushed you to go to college. It's made you see college as like the be all end all. And I know it almost always feels that way. But at the end of the day, like, you just have to step back, and if you're not doing okay, if you're struggling, if you're not being able to focus in class or you're overwhelmed by your assignments, it's okay to acknowledge it. It's okay to reach out. We all have different ways of doing that. Maybe it'll be your friends. That's why it's so important to build those relationships with your peers, because they'll be the ones who are going to get you through that tough kind of finals week where you're just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Or just call home. Sometimes you're so in it again that you forget to just call home. And just hearing a familiar voice will do that for you. But, you know, sometimes if you just get so overwhelmed that, like, you feel like you need to take a break, it's okay. I'm that person who's going to tell you that it's okay if you got to take a semester off. Obviously, like, you'll have to make some arrangements, might get a little messy. But if that's what you need to be okay, then, like, don't be scared to do that. Because I know society pushes you to, like, 4 years. You have to do it in 4 years. And if you don't, then you're not being successful. And that's just not true. Other than that, just, like, drink water. I know it's very basic, TikTok advice. But, like, just drink water, eat. I'm telling you, you're so in it that you forget to eat. Like, I'm guilty of that. Or was in college. I don't anymore. But, yeah, just take care of yourself.
Thank you.
For me, like he said, eat. I'd have definitely forgotten to eat before. Like, you'll be in the library studying all day. You did not have a meal today. I just ate for the first time today, like an hour ago. So I'm still guilty of it. But you have to make sure you drink your water, like you said. You're gonna get your workout walking to class unless you're taking a bus everywhere. I think it's important to go to the gym. Most of my friends go to the gym. I slacked off a little bit because it was finals week, but it's important to go to the gym, get your workout, have a consistent, like, just a daily routine to kind of keep you in the habit. I think that also keeps you organized if you kind of have a schedule for yourself. And I also started going to therapy. So mental health is kind of something that we're working on at Georgia Tech. They're doing a lot to kind of help with that in that area. So I started going to therapy, and it helps a lot to just, like, you look forward to it. Like, you get to just talk about whatever you want. And I think it helps to be able to talk to somebody that's unbiased about your issues. Because, yeah, it's not normalized, but it's good to be open to that experience.
Thank you. And then, Dana, I have one last question for you. What did you do as a parent to support Evan's well-being when he was in school?
I listened. And that's all I could do, you know.
So when he called home,
When he called home, I would either let him vent. Sometimes our children don't want advice, they just want us to listen. So we just have to pick up the phone and be quiet. And that's what I did. It didn't matter if it was, 10 a.m. or 4 a.m. If he's calling at 4 a.m., something's really going on. And what it truly was stress, right? It was not eating. It was taking a lot of classes. It was trying to do too many papers at the same time. It was probably partying and then needing to do everything in one day. So, we've all been through it at one time or another. So it was just being there to listen.
thank you. And thank you to our panelists. So as you heard from our panelists, there are a few great things to know to make that transition to college successfully and to help you be successful once those classes start. So one of the most important things that I think was a theme we heard throughout our three panelists was self-advocacy. And so now we'll hear from Jennifer Petrie, our executive assistant, on what it means to self-advocate and take charge of your own life. Jennifer?
Thank you, Suzanne. Well, good evening, everyone. They've made the mistake once again to give me the microphone, so it's on. So I'm going to lead with making sure that you are aware of this. If you don't remember a lot of things I say tonight, please remember this. You are amazing, and you are capable of doing amazing things. If you don't remember everything else, please just remember that, because the world's going to come at you and tell you otherwise. Hang on to that part. So that piece being said, will the parents, guardians, those who have supported these young people in getting to this point in their lives, can we clap and applaud them? And tell them thank you. Because I promise you, thank you. You are all very deserving. Because they have made some sacrifices, some that you're aware of, some you're not aware of, but they've made some adjustments in their lives to get you to this point. And as far as Achieve Atlanta, it's a group of brilliant people. So smart people don't make bad investments, right? Generally speaking. And so Achieve Atlanta is not giving you money, we are investing in you. And it's a worthwhile investment. Because we're looking at all these brilliant young people in here, and you are our future. And we really, really want to see you succeed. That's not hype. That's not something cute to say. You guys don't know me, but that's not what I do. What I do is tell the truth, and the truth is you are amazing. And there is something out here in every one of you. We need what you were sent into this life to bring. So we don't need you to squash it. We need you to go ahead and shine. Shine does not mean arrogance. Shine means shine. It means be comfortable with the brilliance that is within you. And there's a bunch of it. Most of it is untapped at this point. But it's there. And we need that. We need it desperately. And so we continue to invest in you, but we want to see that return on the investment, and let that be the contribution that you bring back to us, because we know you can. So, if that sounded a little preachy, I'm still okay with that, because I really want you to understand who you are, because the world is trying really hard to keep young people from understanding who they are, what they are here to offer. But we see it and we know it, and it is our responsibility to help you begin to see it, but it's your responsibility to carry it forward. And we're counting on you to do that. We know you got this. We know you do. There are a couple of things that I do want to make sure I say to you. They gave you great advice up here, this panel did. They really did. So take some of that to heart. You won't remember absolutely everything, but those pieces that kind of resonated with you, capture that someplace, some of those things that are in there. College is going to be difficult, but you can do difficult things. You've gotten to this point. So many of you have friends or associates, or they were just classmates and they didn't make it this far, but you're here. And you are moments away from graduation. So let's do this thing. You have the most powerful tool that you'll ever come in contact with, every one of you. Because it was a brain and a mind that created a computer. So you can outstrip a computer. So use that mind that you have to create the life that it is in your soul that you know is calling you, right? Don't squash it. And don't talk yourself out of it. And if you're hanging around people who are trying to talk you out of it, you need new people. And that's going to be okay. You're stepping into adulthood. You're going to have to make a lot of choices and decisions. Some of them won't be comfortable. Regardless of our ages, we all have to make some decisions and some choices that aren't comfortable, especially when we have made a commitment to move our lives forward. You've made that commitment. You said, I'm going to college. And I'm believing that you didn't just say, I'm going to college. You said, I'm going to graduate from college. And I'm going to do something with that, right? So now I'm going to ask you, I know that was, I'm talking kind of fast, but I just don't want to miss anything. So the thing that I would ask you to do is, will my 2023 graduates please stand? And I need my cheat sheet for this because I don't want to miss anything. And on my cheat sheet, I want to make sure that you follow me when I say this. So I'm going to say it, you're going to say it back to me, and we're going to move it. College may be difficult, but I can do difficult things. One more. I will ask for assistance when I need it. That is one of the strongest and smartest things you can ever do. So here we go. I will ask for assistance and support when I need it. And that'll put you on a great path. So everyone has spoken to you about self-advocacy. So I'm just going to read off to you what that is. I do want to make sure that you understand what self-advocacy is and how important it is that you embrace that. Self-advocacy is learning how to speak up for yourself. And you're going to need to know how to do that. It's making your own decisions about your own life, because you're going to live out those consequences of those choices and decisions. Learning how to get information so that you can understand things that are of interest to you. All of that's self-advocacy. And you want to master that. Finding out who will support you in your journey. Self-advocacy. It's knowing your rights and your responsibilities. We're generally pretty good on the rights, not so keen on the responsibilities. So start getting clear on that. It will serve you well for the rest of your life. Get good at problem solving. That too is self-advocacy. Listening and learning, self-advocacy. Reaching out to others when you need help and friendship, because you do need that, don't pretend. And learning about self-determination and then practicing it. Once again, self-advocacy. Self-advocacy also includes self-care and responding to outreach from others. Don't struggle when you don't have to. And so, all of that being said, I personally am very excited for this opportunity to have poured into you. There is a whole community out there that is excited about you. Do not believe the hype of you don't matter, we're all against you. No, we're not. We want to see you succeed. When you succeed, so do we. That's not an Achieve Atlanta thing, that's a community thing. We're believing in you. All of that being said, I would like to turn it back over to Suzanne Diggs-Wilborn, our Vice President of College Success. Thank you for your time. A little shorter.
Thank you, JP. So, thank you for attending Scholar Night tonight. We had a blast getting to know you. We are happy that you're here tonight. Thank you for coming, and congratulations.